Well, it is Friday night now, and we're out here putting another trial in. This is my second set of trials, and the sooner after seeding the better, which is why the seed drill you can see is just approaching behind me, and he's going to seed the pass that we're going to put the stakes in. So right now we only have a single pass here, which is 80 some feet wide. So I need to start putting my plots in about 100 feet from the fence line, just because of sprayer width. Well, there we go. Not bad for another Friday night. We got another 24 mini plots marked out, and our first applications for pre-seed timing or seeding timing is done. So we'll maybe do another trial yet tomorrow. We'll see if we can find a freshly seeded barley field. There was a few little rain showers on Sunday, but really it wasn't even enough to show up in a moisture meter. But you can see we got some pretty good emerging barley going on in here. I'd say the whole stand is not up yet, but we're definitely on our way. So a lot of these fields are going to be emerging here this week. Now that we've had warmer temperatures and stuff, we should see some really good emergence. So now it's time to keep an eye on things like wireworms and cutworms as we go around. Well, this is an old forage field that is going to get seeded into canola this year. So as you can see, we have some surviving alfalfa in here, and it's not looking all that great today. And the reason for that is we came in here with Prospect from Corteva about 2 days ago now. So you're starting to see some burn on some of these leaves here now. Starting to see leaves kind of, the whole plant is starting to kind of go down a little bit. So Prospect is about the only pre-burn you can use ahead of canola that has a good group 4 in it. And that group 4 in Prospect is called Arlex Active, basically haloxifin, and it's going to be quite effective on any sort of perennial broadleaf weed. So really it's about the most effective canola pre-burn that we could use for a field like this. Well, here we have some corn going in the ground, and things here looking pretty good so far. Let's take a quick look in the seed row here, make sure our depth is good. Depth control is pretty critical with corn. We want to be, 1.5 to 2 inches depth, as close as we can get. We don't want to be too shallow with corn. It leaves it really prone to dry out, as well as potentially having the growing point and stuff like that being too high up, and the crown roots forming in the wrong spot. You can see we got a nice little seed sitting right there, and we're at just about 1.75 inches there. So our height here is really good, and you can see we're sitting in good moisture, which is great, because right now that moist ground is relatively warm, especially after the nice weather we had on the weekend, and that shouldn't have any problems germinating. The danger right now would be cold seed imbibition. If we were to get a big rainstorm of really cold rain, or an irrigation with cold irrigation water, and that is the first moisture that seed absorbs, then we end up with corn cold seed imbibition, which can cause a lot of stunting and other undesirable effects. Well, it is a windy Wednesday out here by Picture Butte, and just about every pivot in the countryside is running now that irrigation water is on. So nice to see the pivots going and getting some water, because we certainly have not been getting much for rain this week. Well, some of the winter wheat and fall rye crops are sure looking gorgeous this week, man. With the warm weather over the weekend and kind of fair weather this week, we're right in kind of the Goldilocks zone for optimal growth for cereals, when we're, between say 10 and 25 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, things in here are doing very, very well. We are pretty much at complete row cover. We're into stem extension, and those nodes are starting to rise on these guys now. So you can see we got our nodes are moving up. We're right about here. So definitely getting up there. This rye is going to get tall in a big hurry. Well, this field of peas down by McGrath, as you can see, has a pretty significant wild oat problem. Now, the focus component of our Authority Supreme that we sprayed in here, I think we just have not had enough moisture since seeding in order for that to activate properly. So we're just not really seeing any sort of control in there. Now, this customer, we did come in a few days ago and spray clethodim in here as a method of controlling the wild oats. And some of these guys, you can pull that center leaf out on some of the older ones, and you can see that it's pinched off. That one just broke off. The problem is that since this has been sprayed, there's already been a new flush in the last 3-4 days, so it's pretty hard to tell what we are getting control on versus what we are not. Yeah, that one seems like it was pinched off a little bit. A couple more of these look a little bit worse for the wear. You can also see
we have some notching on some of these leaves here, so that indicates we have pea leaf weevil in this field. I have started to see a little bit more of this year than I have last year, usually around the edges of the field. However, this field has been treated with Cruiser, so I'm really not too worried about it. That should control those beetles, and the damage should vastly decrease as we move into the field. And even if it was bad, there's not much point in revenge spraying because the eggs would have already pretty much been laid anyways. Well, this field of lentils, we have some emergence here. You can see in lots of places we have nice clear rows, but then in other spots like where I'm standing here, it kind of tapers up because we've got really heavy straw. So you can see here, we've got a good patch of emergence here, and then not so much here, a couple more here and here, some wild oats in there, a bunch more straw, thick straw that's all been worked in. So we might need a little bit more rain. Oh, I just broke some off. We might need a little bit more rain, but potentially we might get that on Monday or early next week. That'll hopefully help with a bit more emergence here. Well, some of these fields we actually do have a little bit of canola starting to appear here and there. Not a whole lot yet, but enough. So at this point now, we need to start watching for things like cutworms and flea beetles in the canola. I haven't really noticed much for flea beetles yet. I have seen some a few days ago on some large flicksweed, but I haven't heard or seen of any issues in canola yet at this time. One thing I get a kick out of every spring is doing a little bit of guerrilla gardening. So if you have been one of my customers before and you've seen pumpkins or cucumbers growing at your pivot points, that was probably some seed that I randomly put in the ground. This year I'm doing some giant sunflowers. So this is some seed from some sunflowers I grew in my garden last year. So if you see random 3-meter tall sunflowers scattered throughout the countryside, almost everywhere I'm digging with the seedrow tool, I'm plopping in a seed. We'll see what happens. This wheat field was on canola stubble. We sprayed DB878 Pro from FMC, and you can see we are still having a pretty good effect. You can see a lot of this volunteer canola is very sickly and going down. We do have some new emergence here that is looking pretty healthy, but lots of the stuff that I was showing last week is now basically dead or dying. So we are seeing some control on it, but I think at this point now, it's been a couple weeks since application. I think that control is starting to break down. We're gonna have to take control of a lot of these once we're in crop. Well, I found another one of the weeds I was looking for my edible weeds project here. You can see this feathery looking leafed guy here. This is wild yarrow. So yarrow is a native plant to the prairies out here and was used for a bunch of various things. Has a very bitter taste. The initial taste here at this time of the spring isn't too bad. A little astringent, but not terrible compared to the adult plant. But anyways, I'm going to pick some of this and dry it. It does sound like the forecast for next week, Monday, Tuesday. We should get a good shot of rain, and we certainly need it. We are rapidly losing moisture compared to this time last year, where we were quite a bit better as far as soil moisture goes. So we're definitely falling behind a bit. So hopefully that changes next week, and we'll see you then.